Okay, there's the red button. All right, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everybody who's joining the call. Thank you for joining the October APAC community call. Today we will have a project status update on the ongoing community-wide ETL project. But before we go into that, we'll have some news to share that's happening within OHDSI as well as APAC. So I'll share the news and then hand over the floor to our leads so that they can provide a update on the project from the relevant teams. First of all, the Q3 newsletter, the APAC newsletter has been sent out. For those of you who are new to the community, there is a APAC newsletter that is distributed on a quarterly basis. So at the end of every quarter / at the beginning of every quarter, depending on how soon the draft is prepared and finalized, there are newsletters being sent out on the developments and the updates happening in the previous quarter. So if you are a member of the OHDSI APAC teams, you will receive this newsletter by default. You can, of course, choose to unsubscribe if you feel the newsletters are not informative, or maybe you guys feel it's spam. But either way, that choice is up to you. But when you sign up for the APAC teams environment, you will receive this by default. So for those of you who haven't joined the OHDSI APAC teams, but you want to receive these newsletters separately, you can subscribe at the URL, the first URL here. You can also see the past issues at this URL. So I will have this deck uploaded on ohdsi.org for those of you who want to specifically access these URLs. But for now, I will put them in the chat as the other presenters present today during the community call. So that's on the newsletter. Next, some news on upcoming symposiums, right? So first of all, for the OHDSI APAC Symposium, I'm pleased to share that we've had 41 abstracts submitted for the Collaborator Showcase this year. This is actually record-breaking. We've seen a consistent increase in the abstracts being submitted for APAC symposiums. It's been continuously increasing, beginning around, I think, around 20, and our first in-person symposium now reaching 40. Yes, Morning, your hand. Oh, no. So Morning is making emoticons, and I think he raised his hand by mistake. So we will review, the Scientific Review Committee will review these abstracts by October 24th, and notifications will go out by October 31st so that you guys have time to prepare any administrative / logistic procedures with regards to those acceptances. So please keep an eye out in your inboxes for those of you who submitted your abstracts end of October, and you will see those acceptances in your inbox during that time. With regards to the OHDSI Global Symposium, for those of you who don't know already and you are attending the Global Symposium, just a FYI, there are work group breakout sessions on the 24th. Specifically for the announcement today, I would like to share that there is an OHDSI APAC workgroup breakout session happening on the morning of the October 24th. So it's happening at the Garden State B, which is located in the main level. And what's going to happen during this breakout session is actually very related to the abstracts. The final decisions will be made during this session. So for any abstracts in which there are different opinions between reviewers, this will be visited during the breakout session to be discussed, tabled, and a final decision made. So for those of you who are attending and you want to be part of this review process / you want to observe how we operate as a OHDSI APAC community, please do sign up and attend the breakout session if time allows for you. That's on the OHDSI news. Next, we'll move on to the community-wide ETL project status update. Before I hand over the floor, I do have some announcements to make. So first of all, I'm pretty sure the leads will discuss this in their presentations, but we have decided as a group that we're going to extend the project duration. So originally we had aimed to complete the project today, but due to the pending work as well as some ongoing conversations, we will be extending the project for one more sprint. FYI on the one more sprint, sprint 6 will be 3 weeks so that we don't mess up the existing cadence of our scientific forums. So the new project closeout date is November 7th, in which we'll aim to close the project by then. That's the first announcement. The second announcement, I think, which is more important, the Titan Award nominees have been announced for this year. So for those of you who are new to the community, OHDSI at the Global Symposium nominates Titans and also awards the winners of the Titan Award nominees. And why I bring this up specifically in this community call is because we see many names in which from the APAC community here. And I also want to emphasize that the OHDSI APAC ETL team overall has been nominated as a Titan. So congratulations to everybody who has been nominated as a group or as an individual here. Please do apologies if I've missed anybody in the red underlines here, because I'm not aware of every single person from the APAC community that is involved. But I just wanted to highlight that APAC people are being continuously recognized in the global side. And this contributions we are making as a group with regards to the ETL project is also being seen as a great contribution to the community. So once again, thank you, everybody. Your work in the previous sprints, as well as the upcoming work in the next sprint, is greatly appreciated and greatly recognized by the community in general. So thank you all. Thank you all for your clapping and your hearts. And now I will hand over the floor over to our leads. Let me have a quick scan of who's here so that I can start calling out people. Normally we go with the data analysis team first. Bunseng, I see you in the call. I don't see Max in the call. Are you okay to go first, Bunseng?
Yes. Hi. Hello. I'm here, Bunseng. For data analysis team, we actually completed the exercise together with the ETL team. Just pending the last mile is actually on the clarification to make sure the assumptions or the question have been highlighted by the ETL team can be aligned with the expectation of the data user, right? So we are now is actually close communicate with the data owner to ensure that the expectation is aligned, ensure that the ETL work is actually delivered accordingly. So on our side is actually not much of the working area. It's more on the clarification that to support the ETL and also the vocab team. Right. So
thanks, Bunseng. So if I summarize that correctly, majority of the data analysis team work has been complete in the previous sprints. With regards to your most recent activities, it's centered on helping the ETL team as well as the vocabulary team clarify on some questions on the ETL specifications delivered, as well as clarifying any questions that need to be addressed to the data owners, and you guys are playing that coordination. Is that correct?
Yes, correct. So
okay, perfect. That sounds good. So for those of you who missed the previous project status update last month, the data analysis team has played a critical role in preparing some ETL specifications for the ETL team to use as a reference to develop the actual ETL. Right now, their work is centered on answering any questions that's coming up in between either from the ETL team or the or the vocabulary team. Sorry, not data analysis. Is there any questions specifically for the data analysis team? If not, I think it's ETL team. Satish.
Yes, I can share my screen.
Perfect.
Okay. Yeah. So for the ETL team, just quickly flash our existing valuable members who have been involved in this project for the past few weeks. And then a brief recap has what has happened prior to the, what happened with the last project update. I'll just quickly go through that. Within the ETL team itself, we structured two sub-teams, SQL and Python, based on the language of their choice. The agreed upon environment is Google Cloud Platform. So all the development, data handling would be stored in the Google Cloud Platform, which is in compliance with the data usage agreement. The source data has been formatted in CSV, available in the GCP buckets, and as well loaded into the Postgres Cloud SQL for the ETL developers to consume. And the development infrastructure is like two VMs, which is one core and 8 GB of RAM, and then the Postgres Cloud SQL, which is in the Singapore region itself. Yes. And lastly, the secure SSH access has been given to the ETL members. Each one has their own private key to access the VM, and all the development is happening on the VS Code, which is quite easy to do the development within the VM. GitHub and pull requests are the way of development for us. And that's a proven choice, and we are continuing to do that. A Python framework was created so that all the ETL developers can kind of come together and use some form of structure, so that it not only helps us in the development and reviewing the pull request, but also executed on other environments in the same manner as the development environment. Um, yeah, the OMOP schema has also been generated. The data analysis team has given us the ETL specs by the GitHub as well, which we're using it for reference. And source to concept map table has been agreed upon to be used for the custom vocabulary concepts, and the vocab team is giving us on a periodical basis. Yes. So just to again show the overall status of the ETL development for the tables. So you see that yeah, in the done column, the majority of them are merged and completed. So in review as well, there are some yeah, I mean minor things that's going on. Those in yellow are also, I mean, 90% completed. It's just minor again pending for the visit occurrence and the mapping for the standard concept IDs are pending actually in this column. So those that are in white means that their tables are populated in the UMOP schema, and the QA is actually using that for running the data quality checks. Yeah. So the pending, I mean, once the condition occurrence and the drug exposure is completed, then the SQL team will take over this and as well complete the ETL for this as well, which is pretty straightforward. Yeah. So our methodology of working, I mean, understanding that we came in our meetings, try to complete, I mean, as much as possible where there are no dependencies involved. I mean, these dependencies could be within the tables. For example, a person ID and a visit occurrence ID is a dependency to other tables. So we will as well use zeros over there and complete the mapping logic first. And as well, obviously, there's a dependency on the standard concept IDs that we're expecting. So that as well has been, I mean, there have been other secondary merges for us mapping to the standard source to concept map table, where the OCAP team has provided us. But we, like I said, we like to, I mean, we like to merge as frequently as possible, and not be bottlenecked by the pending dependencies. Parallelly, we are as well, I mean, we obviously we do have some clarifications, and we realize there's certain things to be clarified during the ETL development. For example, certain duplication of rows, or be it the visit occurrence ID, where the date ranges wasn't falling between the visit dates for respective clinical events. Um, and yeah, so there are these kind of clarifications with the data analysis for CAB and the data owner. Um, yeah, and then we have gotten responses, or we have also documented some I mean, assumptions or decisions that we agreed how to move forward. Yeah, so they're as well present and documented in an Excel sheet. Yeah. So, I mean, the QA team as well has set up, and they are running data quality checks. So that is as well being documented, and Santan is actually going through some of these issues and reaching out to us. So meanwhile, we are as well, at least for mainly the completed tables, we are trying to fix the issues. Yeah. And last, which is probably because the sprint is now extended. I mean, yeah, somewhere around the end of the sprint, we'll as well enable the OHDSI constraints and execute the ETL pipeline for all the tables on a new schema, and run the data quality checks again as well, as a final sanity check. Okay. So what yeah, I mean, as Song mentioned, yes, we have extended for one more sprint, because we still see I mean, scope for betterment. So we will complete, I mean, the mapping logic, like I said, 90% is completed. It's just that there are many source tables that we want to complete the dependencies as well for the visit occurrence ID, where there is a bit of more logic involved now, and as well waiting for the mapping concepts from the OCAP team as well. Once we get that, the dependencies are handled, and yeah, I mean, like I mentioned, there are already incoming issues, quality issues that we would also want to fix meanwhile. And then, like I said, in the last week or the week before, in the sprint, next sprint, we will run the whole pipeline and as well see if we don't run into any issues, hopefully. Yeah. That's all from our side. Any questions?
Thank you, Satish. Any questions? So, like as I mentioned, and Satish just reiterated, iterated, the extension of 3 weeks, we can use up to 3 weeks, but if we feel as a team that we don't need the entire 3 weeks, we can end the project earlier. So this is entirely up to us, but generally, as a project manager myself, having more time means more buffer for any issues that pop up. So Satish, do let us know your progress over the next few weeks. I, as the PM of the ETL team, will also keep an eye out on any of the issues and gauge whether or not we can finish earlier or on time. So thank you for your efforts in leading this again, Satish, and all the other team lead / ETL members in the call. If there is no further questions or comments for the ETL team, I think I can hand over the floor to, I see Chi and Lakshmi. Which one of you will be presenting for the vocabulary team?
I'll be able
Lakshmi.
to. Yeah, thank you, Kay. I'll be able to present. I'll quickly share my screen.
Perfect.
Yeah. So So for it's for ETL backup mapping team from ETL backup map team. The sprint 4 meeting, we have a few updates where we can see that most of the files were completed for mapping. So we still have 2 files in surgery operation, like 300 plus codes need to be mapped in the surgery operation file, and also we have the radiology procedure file, which has been taken care by Key. So apart from that, most of or almost all the files were completed and it's been reviewed. Few of the files were also reviewed by our volunteers, and we are expecting to complete this task by before the next sprint meeting. And currently, like we split the surgical operation file into 9 different files and sub files, and we shared it among our volunteers. So that has to be grouped and reviewed. So that is the next task which we are planning to do apart from mapping. So once this is done, Key will be submitting that to the required team. So that's all.
Thank you, Lakshmi. Chi, do you have anything you want to add?
No, I don't have anything to add. Lakshmi summarized that very well.
All right, perfect. So we do have, and so in summary, we do have some pending mappings to be done around the surgery operations. I think this is the area that has the most codes because the database itself is centered around surgery and operations due to the perioperative nature of the database itself. So thank you for your efforts from the vocab team, as well as the, I would say, the late volunteers who have raised their hand to help out with the mapping, specifically a few from the global side, as well as one more from Japan. I see Keiko is in the call, but yeah, thank you for volunteering. I think the beauty of these projects and OHDSI is the fact that we have people who volunteer and commit their time despite the day jobs we all have, right? So thank you, vocabulary team. We look forward to your progress and your, I would say, deliveries to the ETL team, in which some of the dependencies are existing, as mentioned by Satish a few moments ago.
Yeah. Song, one quick question.
Sure.
So, not with respect to the ETL project, but I also see that there is another study which is ongoing on GLP-1R DILI. Like I have not heard about it, but I'm interested to volunteer there. So if any support needed, please do let me know. Yeah.
Yeah, so Lakshmi, I've seen your comments and your mentions of me in the Teams channel for the study. I am actually, I can't be everywhere, Lakshmi. The owner of that study is actually Evelyn. So if you want to be involved, I suggest you reach out to Evelyn. You might want to join the meetings that is currently set up. I think it's Monday mornings. So you might want to like be there and ask there instead of me, because I'm
Okay. I'll reach out to Evelyn. Yeah, I'll do
as
that.
much as I want to split myself and clone myself and be everywhere, unfortunately I can't do that. So I'm actually heavily relying on not Lakshmi, sorry, Evelyn and Chan and all the other people who are helping out with that study. So yeah, your question is best addressed there instead of here.
Yeah, I'll reach out to Evelyn Song. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Right, that's from the vocabulary team. Thank you, Gyuri, for turning on your camera. I feel happy that I'm not the only person with my camera on among the 24 people. Thank you, Morning. There we go. All right, next we have, last but not least, actually I would say one of the most important aspects of OMAC conversions, right? We have the quality assurance team, and I see Santan, who is leading this effort from the team on the call. Santan, do you want to share?
Yes, I'm going to share my screen.
Here we are.
Okay. Yeah, the update is on quality assurance topic. In the past two sprints, in the past two sprints, uh, we have been active than the previous ones, and uh, we have started working on setting up the data quality dashboard from the OHDSI community on the VMs where we are actually building our ETL pipelines. Yeah, and after doing that, we have also created an R script which can run the data quality dashboard uh, on the schema on the data that is being moved to the OMOP data model. So this R script is the is helping to run the data quality checks and give us the results at the same time. And according to the ETL team, there are two VMs for their sub teams, and data quality dashboard was set up on both the VMs initially. So later, it was decided that the SQL team VM alone is good enough for running the data quality dashboard, because most of the work has been uh, has been done on this VM, and the data also has been converted to the OMOP common data model. Therefore, the script on the other VM is irrelevant and has been removed from the GitHub repository. Yes, but right now only one of the scripts that was created is actively maintained and being used for the data quality checks. And later, moving on, we have triggered the data quality checks on the data that we already have at this point in time. I will go through the checks, the numbers in the next slides. Yeah, but I just wanted to highlight that. So how we are the approach that we are taking to go through these results coming from the data quality dashboard. So we are documenting these checks that are coming from, not the checks but results that are coming from the data quality dashboard, especially SQL errors and the failures. So far, SQL errors and conformance failures have been added to this document, and where the QA team and the ETL team and other teams uh, go through each check and update the status or some comments there. But yeah, the status of each failure check can be monitored in this sheet. And then so far, what we have done is we have executed the data quality checks twice, one with some filters, and secondly without any filters. Yeah. So I think so far with the data conversion completion, filtered checks make sense to go through with all of you. But again, for your perusal, I'm just adding here the unfiltered results first. Yeah, so we have about 96% pass percentage on the unfiltered results. In that 1160 are not applicable, and only 1145 are applicable, where 1095 are passing over there. Yeah, but coming to the filtered results here, why filtered? Because some of the tables are not relevant for us. They are cohort definition, because we are not uh, in this project. Cohorts are not created at the first place. This is only for data conversion, right? And then the vocabulary tables are also not relevant, I believe. And then the next set of tables that are still work in progress by the ETL team related to the data conversion. So these have been excluded on the table level, and no other checks have been excluded apart from these. Right? So in this, the pass percentage is 96%. So we have, I'm showing here the table of errors that are generated in the filtered data quality checks. SQL errors have been identified as bugs in the data quality dashboard. And the next set of errors are also known errors that is related to the current work in progress. Yeah. And the other set of errors are related to different things. So these are being currently worked on at the moment. So out of 852 checks, 821 are passing, and 35 here that you're seeing, yeah, are the failures. What are the next steps? So, like I said, I'm going through the comments coming from other teams and adding my analysis and solutions to the sheet, documenting them, and also sharing with other teams. And then remaining checks which are not currently worked on and also being failed, they will be added to the sheet and solve them. Yeah. Yes. That's the update from the quality dashboard, quality assurance team.
Thank you, Santan. Any questions for the quality assurance team? So to summarize, from a data quality assurance perspective, we've been taking an agile approach where we are generating data quality dashboard results as the tables are being populated. We have taken a filtered approach as well as unfiltered approach where the filter is on specific tables where the tables are currently still in progress or not really applicable to our project. For those of you who are unaware, the cohort tables are needed for Atlas. Right now, Atlas is not the scope of our project, so cohort tables don't need to be run against in terms of the data quality dashboard. Other tables you see that were filtered by the quality assurance team are tables that are currently either being worked on or currently will be worked on later on because they are derived tables from existing clinical event tables. So we will probably see more robust data quality dashboard results in the upcoming weeks as the ETL development is completed over the next few weeks. So thank you, Santan, for coordinating this from the data quality assurance team. I keep saying team, but really Santan is the sole lead and the sole member of the quality assurance team, apart from Karthik, who is PMing. But unfortunately, we don't have Karthik with us today. So again, I think the quality assurance step is quite important, and it really requires coordination and collaboration with the other teams as a team. So as a group effort, not just a single person. So thank you, Santan, and thank you everybody else who is currently working with Santan to address these issues, specifically to all the leads who are coordinating on behalf of the teams. So that's all for the the project update. I'm probably thinking of closing the call, and I think we have a low attendance today because some of the people are already traveling for the global symposium that's going to happen very soon. So thank you all for being here. Thank you for the people who are continuously working on the project. And last but not least, maybe I'll just touch on the study that Lakshmi briefly mentioned. So we have actually kicked off a study in APAC in which Evelyn from Singapore is leading. The study question came from Singapore. That's why Singapore is leading this. We will actually have a session at the next community call in November to present the study itself, the background of it, the progress and the next steps of it. And we will also have some sessions focused on the study at the APAC symposium as well. So for those of you who are interested, you can visit the study teams channel under the OHDSI APAC teams. Maybe I'll just pop it up for those of you who don't know what teams channel I am referring to. Give me a second as I share screen. Work with me, please share. Okay, here we go. So if you go to your team's environment and under the OHDSI APAC teams, you will see multiple channels for various purposes. The teams channel I'm specifically referring to is actually this one called 2024 APAC Study, parentheses, GLP-1R dash DILI. So I'm not going to go into too much detail because I don't want to steal Evelyn's thunder for next month. But as you can tell from the study nickname itself, the study is focused on GLP-1 drugs, as well as its outcomes around liver adverse events. So adverse events related to the liver. So for those of you who are very clinically interested, you guys can have a look at the developments that's going on within the study channel. If you want to help Evelyn and contribute your expertise, I think now will be a great time to announce your interest to help to both to Evelyn as well as the study team that's currently involved. So keep an eye out for a session next month around the study itself. We'll also have some recap of the global symposium for those from the APAC region attending the event live. So I will be reaching out to you guys individually to have you guys do a short recap of the event, as I usually do for other symposiums in Europe as well as the APAC region. I'll stop talking. I'll stop speaking. I'll shut up now and give you guys 20 minutes back of your lovely day. Thank you, everybody, for joining, and we'll see you in 3 weeks' time at the project closeout. Bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye bye. Thanks a lot, Song.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.